about Women Heart, and she's also going to tell you a little bit more about her story. So with that, I would like to welcome up Taryn.
Hi, everyone. Our little dog. We had a little dog, but it was broke. Every time we looked at her, we thought we would choke. She looks like a little dog. She has black curly hair, skin so fair, a mouth like a rose, and a little pug nose. But we don't care. She has big eyes of blue that say, I love you. And honey, we love you too. Our little dog has a broken ticker. Every day, she gets sicker and sicker. But we're gonna get our little doll fixed, even if it takes a whole bag of tricks. I know that one day we'll get some magic glue and fix that little ticker in you. And soon, you'll be good as new. And remember, honey, we love you, and God loves you too. That was a poem that my deceased grandmother wrote for me 3 weeks after I was born, when I was diagnosed with heart disease. My name is Taryn Lamp, heart disease survivor, patient here at Cedars Sinai Barbara Streisand Women's Heart Center, and Women's Heart Champion. Heart disease is the #1 threat to American women, and almost every minute, a woman in the US dies of heart disease. I'm speaking to you today to share my story, tell you a little bit about Women's Heart, and what it means to be a Women's Heart Champion. And then ask you to join me in taking control of your heart health. I was born December 6, 1974. My blessing of learning to live with heart disease began at 3 weeks old with my first admission to the University of Virginia Newborn Special Care. My first medical records read, the first of the infant's problem, that of congenital heart disease and congestive heart failure, was worked up in detail during his hospitalization. She's received several X-rays, EKGs, electrocardiograms, and cardiac catheterizations. Her cardiac anomaly is difficult to define. There's dextrocardia present, and in addition, some rotation of the heart, which displaces both ventricles. There's a hole in my heart, VSD present, and different observers do not agree on the presence of an ASD. In addition, the internal configuration of the ventricle is somewhat peculiar. After 3 months of extensive poking, prodding, and treatment, on February 23rd, 1975, I was finally released from the hospital. Condition on discharge, stable. Final diagnosis, congestive heart failure, congenital renal disease, VSD, dextrocardia, questionable ASD, congenital renal disease, post-sepsis, and pneumonia. Major setbacks in recovery and continued sickness landed me back in the hospital on April 18, 1975. This time, I was on the operating table to receive banding around my pulmonary artery in hopes of preventing further complications. Years of ups and downs followed, and again, 4 years later, I was back on the operating table May 31st, 1979, to repair the hole in my heart. But unfortunately, the repair did not solve the problem, and 2 weeks later, I was in complete heart block. The records read, with evidence of intermittent complete heart block, a permanent pacemaker was recommended to the family. My 17-year-old mother understood and accepted the risk. And on June 6, 1979, I received my first pacemaker. There I was, in kindergarten, with an implanted pacemaker, and the only kid in class that ran out of breath during recess. I knew it was different from the very beginning. Different, but not defeated. Down, but most certainly not out. As a young child, my feelings were mixed between why is this happening to me and making my own adjustments to fit in. While most kids were learning how to read books, I was busy learning to read EKGs. time for gym class, it was either time for me to hide or be the last one picked on the kickball team. Monthly pacemaker checks became more frequent than my report card, and I wasn't even allowed in the room when a microwave was on. Note to little Taryn, you can't live in this bubble for the rest of your life. You've got to go out and live big. By middle school, my pacemaker was just like any other organ in my body. By high school, I was on the track team. And by college, I had moved on to something way more complicated than heart surgery, dating. Since then, I've had 3 pacemaker replacements and been diagnosed with a dermoid brain tumor. Today, I stand before you, having adjusted to wearing my scars. 38 years young and playing a big game of inspiring those around me. I don't believe in rationing my passion. I share it. I've been given lots of chances, so I figure I better make the best of them. I'm a big sister and a blended family and an avid pet lover. Mother to Miles and Max, 2 spoiled kittens. So if you're counting, that's 2 holes in my heart, 2 cats, 2 pacemakers, because the original one is actually still there, with disconnected leads, 1 kidney and 1 brain tumor. Go big or go home. I'm a daughter to wonderful parents who paid their fair share of medical bills. I have the privilege to work in the medical community. I'm the founder of Self-Confidence Wear It, a website that promotes positive messaging. I'm an author and a wonderful girlfriend to my even more wonderful boyfriend. My most exciting accomplishment has been to become a Women Heart champion. Women Heart, the National Coalition for Women with Heart Disease, is the only patient-centered organization serving 42.7 million women living with or at risk for heart disease. Women Heart provides education, patient support, and advocates for health policy that benefits all women and women living with heart disease. As a Women Heart champion, my role is to empower other women to take charge of their heart health through sharing my example, advocating in the area of heart disease, and leading a patient support group in our community. I became a Women Heart champion to do my part to encourage others to make sure that you are heart healthy. So as we kick off Heart Month, let me ask you, are you heart healthy? Do you know that in the United States, someone has a heart attack every 34 seconds? 600,000 Americans die from heart disease each year. That's 1 in every 4 deaths. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women in the United States. Almost 64% of women who die suddenly of heart disease have absolutely no previous symptoms. Wow. 23% of women and 18% of men will die within 1 year of a first recognized heart attack. 22 to 32% of women and 15 to 27% of men, heart attack survivors, die within 5 years. Do you know your risk factors for heart disease? High blood pressure, high cholesterol, family history, smoking. Approximately half of all Americans have at least 1 or more of these risk factors. So now that you know, what are you going to do? Everyone has a few curveballs thrown at us in this game we call life. Some of us watch them fly right past, waiting for the next. Others, we catch them and throw them right back. Me, I catch them, wipe them off with my fashionable red jersey, then throw the winning pitch. My medical conditions have taught me the true meaning of amazing, the meaning of strength, gratitude, and forgiveness. I'm very lucky. Not only did I win in a big game, but I found my passion. It's to share my story in hopes that you will take steps to make sure you are heart healthy. Some people feel the rain. Others, they just get wet. So who are you? Will you listen to this story and pray that it won't be you or your family? Or you feel the rain and take action? When was your last checkup? Are you heart healthy? What about your wife, your mother, your dad, your sister, your brother, your son, or your daughter? We're at Cedars Sinai, surrounded by magnificent physicians and staff. You and your family can receive excellent medical care and learn how to manage your heart health. Join me in the fight against heart disease. Know your risk factors, detect them, prevent them, and be aware. My challenge for you today is to leave here in search of your big game. You're amazing. Live with no excuses. Make a difference. And know today if you are heart healthy. Thank you.
Oh.